Just a quick recap before we get on to the next chapter about what we have done till now. In the capital acquisition, we've done the first part, that is the capability acquisition, in which we have seen the buy and the buy and make with 5 major procurement categories, that is buy Indian IDDM, buy Indian, buy global, buy and make Indian, buy global, manufacture in India. In the long-term indigenous defense capability, we've had a look at make and innovation. In the make, we had a look at make 1, make 2, make 3, and in the innovation, the IDEX, the Technological Development Fund, and the internal organization. We shall be covering the leasing, the other capital procurement procedures, and design and development by DRDO at a later stage. These are different chapters in the DAP 2020. Let us now have a look at what I consider to be a very important chapter in the long-term capability building of the military in the country. And that is chapter 7, through the vehicle of strategic partnership. Not only strategic partnership between an OEM, a foreign OEM, and an Indian partner, also the fact that it revitalizes the complete defense industrial ecosystem since a large number of companies would be supplying components, assemblies, parts, etc. to the lead agency, which is in collaboration with the foreign OEM, and therefore the complete technology, the complete quality control, etc. percolates down through the complete ecosystem. Now, this is extremely important if we are to use this vehicle for pitching the Indian military into the foremost in the world. It has the potential of bringing an immense capability in terms of modern technology into the country. There are major encumbrances, fallacies in the chapter, which has caused it not to be exploited to the extent it should have been. As such, we shall have a look at them also, and they are parts, things like IPR, transfer of technology, production in a foreign OEM's country, also concerns of the foreign countries, governments of providing foremost technology to our country. All this we will have a look in the chapter as to what are the problems and how this chapter can pitch India into being one of the modern militaries of the world today. I will take it on in 2 sessions. In session 1 will be the aim of strategic partnership, the roles of the OEM and the strategic partner, and the flow chart for the selection of strategic partner. So what does the strategic partnership policy envisage? It is primarily a partnership between the Ministry of Defense, Indian Ministry of Defense, and the Indian private entity. Now, this is called the strategic partnership. Obviously, the Indian private entity is on an arrangement with the foreign OEM. We will have a look at that as we go on. The aim of this policy, now these are very important, is to ensure private partnership in big ticket projects. So the big high value projects, and these are in partnership with a selected foreign OEM. That means it's selected and selected by the MOD. The aim of the policy is basically to progressively build up indigenous capability. In the private sector, it has got, the private sector does have capability, but in modern technology, it may lack, especially in technology, material, etc. To design, develop, and manufacture complex weapon systems. Now, these are system of systems involving a large volume of technology, which may not be available in India. And this is over and above the existing production base that is existing in the country today. This obviously, therefore, works towards the larger goals of self-reliance by virtue of a tie-up with a foreign OEM having the technology and producing in India in a partnership with a foreign OEM. Now, what is the role of the strategic partner? That is the Indian strategic partner. Now, it's expected to play a role of a system integrator. Please keep in mind that the technology was from a foreign country. You will be carrying out system integration and obviously absorbing the technology. Also, you would also be building an extensive ecosystem. There is no one company that produces the entire lot itself of the whole weapon system. It depends upon tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Now, as you take in products from there, the quality control, the requirement of the kind of quality that is required, the kind of technology percolates down, and therefore an extensive ecosystem is built up in the Indian industry which supports the major joint venture, equity partnership, etc., between the Indian company, which is the prime strategic partner, along with the foreign company. There would be development partners, there would be specialized vendors, there would be suppliers. And the aim is primarily to take him from MSMEs, which have got niche technology and can obviously grow along with the strategic partnership growing. Now, the strategic partner is required to enter into relevant tie-ups with the selected foreign OEM. This partnership can take a form of a joint venture, equity partnership, technology sharing, or on royalty, or any other mutually acceptable arrangements are accepted. The policy envisage cooperative arrangements also. That means there would be transfer of technology, teaming up between DRDO, ordnance factories, DPSUs, also with strategic partners. So the base technology that is available in DRDO, ordnance factories, and DPSUs can be leveraged towards this matter, and you can have technology coming into the country through the agencies and aided through these agencies also. Transfer of technology is a bugbear, and let me say that a large volume of companies and countries would not like to provide their most modern technology to another Indian company, even at a joint venture. Please keep in mind that these are country specific, country controlled, government controlled. Role of the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, that's the foreign company. It provides the undertaking has to be provided by it to cooperate with the strategic partner to manufacture in India. That means the product has to be manufactured in India. He has to provide the transfer of technology. He has to provide the hand holding to absorb the technology, as well as during the additional production of the particular weapon system. He has to provide the absorption of technology. The support has to be provided. The indigenization of that progressively has to be increasingly be indigenized to the required specific percentage levels. And throughout the life cycle of the complete product, there has to be a support to provide the maintenance of the product, the upgradation of the product, etc. Obviously, when such kind of technology comes into the country, these are foreign government controls. Therefore, a formal acceptance of their government, that is the foreign OEM government, is necessary. Primarily for the purposes of licenses for transfer of technology, they have to be granted. And these have to be done prior to the issue of the request for proposal, and not response for proposal, and not after that RFP. Arrangements are supported by the intergovernmental agreement between the Indian government as well as the foreign government at the contract signing. Possibly, since the foreign OEMs are being selected, a lot of dialogue would take place from the foreign country before you select a foreign OEM, and the IGA has to form a proper IGA has to be formed at the time of contract signing. The contract between the foreign OEM and the strategic partner has to have provisions for protection of classified information and technology being transferred by the OEM. Therefore, safety of the dissemination of the technology into unwanted hands would be preserved by virtue of such an agreement being signed between the countries, as well as between the OEM as well as the strategic partner. Let's have a look at the flow chart giving out the steps in the process, and this is primarily for the selection of the strategic partner. Now, a strategic partner can only be an Indian company. That means it is owned, controlled by a resident Indian citizen, more than 50% capital. In chapter 1, in the first lot of lectures that I took, we talked about the issue of having full control. The management should be in Indian hands with the majority representation, and the chief executive is a resident Indian. And we talked about the fact that by Indian, make, procedure, etc., and strategic partnership are all by more than 50% control being in Indian hands. The first step is the accord of acceptance of necessity by the DAC. Now, please keep in mind that for strategic partnership, it is at the level of the Defense Acquisition Council and not levels below it. Issue of expression of interest, similar to the make procedure, is given to the Indian industry. The expression of interest is nothing but a more elaborate form of the request for information. And it seeks the minimum quality criteria details. We had the last slide, we had a look as to what kind of quality criteria there could be in terms of financial, technical capability, ecosystem, etc., including the fact of having R&D as well as testing facilities. So the minimum quality criteria details will be sought from in the form of an expression of interest. Now, after the submission of the EOI comes in, and this would indicate as also as to the choice of segment this particular strategic partner would come up in depending on its capability. And the evaluation of the companies are based on the minimum quality criteria. Segment specific criteria verification is carried out based on this, and this segment specific criteria verification is based on technical, which is project experience, financial, the net worth, the rating. We had seen in the last lecture as to how the finances, the net worth, and the rating is carried out, and segment specific. Also, it can rely on a group of companies. That means a consortium of company can approach the MOD forming a strategic partner. However, the lead agency would be the one that would be considered a strategic partner, though it is a consortium. Shortlisting of companies who meet the minimum quality requirement for issue of RFP for each one of the segments. Please understand that in such a system, no one company would have the complete technology capability. So a consortium would come into being, and a consortium with the lead agency can be nominated for the purpose of issue of RFP to one or more. Issue of RFP with Defense Acquisition Council approval for each segment. Now, each segment would be different, and not that that company is getting a whole lot of things like helicopters, aircraft, submarines, etc. Now, submission of techno-commercial offer in response to the RFP with the shortlisted foreign OEMs. We talked about in the last slide that the foreign OEMs will be done, shortlisting will be done almost simultaneously with the strategic partner. So by that time, the foreign OEMs have been selected. The government shall appoint them, and the techno-commercial offer will be in response to the RFP with the shortlisted OEM, and the shortlisted OEM may be one or two in each segment. Opening and evaluation of the technical offer. The rest of it is as per the normal thing, that is the conduct of field evaluation trials and staff evaluation, and opening of commercial offer for technically compliant bidders only, and who are successful in the field evaluation trials, and selection of the strategic partner with the lowest bid for the DAC approval. It could be more than one strategic partner depending whether the complete criteria has been divided into L1, L2. Commencement of contractual negotiations and finalizing and signing of contract as it is there in all cases. Now, for the purposes of all this, the DG acquisition constitutes an empowered project committee, EPC, and this is under a Lieutenant General equivalent officer, 3-star officer from the service headquarters, or the lead service. For each strategic partner segment, that means if it was a submarine, there'll be one person from the Navy, a 3-star. and with the joint secretary level members. And these are from the MOD acquisition, the Defense Department of Defense production, MOD finance, DRDO, advisor cost, and DGQA. In session 1 of chapter 7, we've had a look at what is the flow chart, the process of shortlisting of the strategic partner, and what is the envisaged role of the strategic partner as well as the foreign OEM. In the next session, we shall have a look at as to how the foreign OEM is shortlisted, as well as what are the major impediments in the process which is preventing this chapter from being exercised towards building of long-term capability development. I enjoyed being with you. Till next session, thank you so very much.